So proud of Johnny, so proud of the work he has put in, and it's hard work. Every single man puts in hard work, and hard work is good. Now, there's a guy named Wesley. He grew up in the Central Valley, and although he had a supportive family, started experimenting with drugs and alcohol at a very young age, preteen. And he was eventually he was addicted, right, to harder drugs as he grew up, in and out of juvie, in and out of prison, most of his life. Wesley had burnt many of the bridges that often happen when you live this sort of lifestyle with his family, with his friends, with his community. That's what he was known for. He had just been released from a 3-year prison term. And that's when I met Wesley at the house. I greeted him. He got dropped off on the doorstep, and I saw his mom, Karen, and the look on her face, I just saw no hope in him. And I knew nothing about Wesley, really. But I knew a mom and what it looks like when you have no hope for your kid. And I could understand and empathize that, and she basically just kind of dropped him off, and that's where I met him. But instead of me just kind of rambling on about how Karen felt, let's listen to Karen and see what she thought.
My name is Karen, and my son Wesley was a resident at the Arukah house. Well, to begin with, Wesley and I were alone most part because my husband, Wesley's father, worked out of town in construction, so he was gone all week, and it was just us. So we had a pretty tight bond there that can't be broken. My family come from a long line of honest people. They worked hard. So Wesley knew all this stuff that he was doing wasn't right. So, because he didn't come from that kind of family. And Wesley and I, we were with my mom and dad a lot, and he was with Grandpa, and they were all very close. So whenever he went and down the bad road, my mom and dad were really just, but we stuck with him. It was devastating. Every time that would happen, it was bad. I would bail him out of jail, which probably wasn't the best thing. I'd bail him out of jail and he'd be back in before he ever went to court on it. I was just like I was at my wit's end. And this went on for years. So it was, and my dad finally passed away, but my mom and I were just, devastated. But he always had a place to come home to, and same people, same crowd, so it was always right back, but it was rough. I was in disbelief. It was like, why is he going down this path? I don't really know. It's heartbreaking. Every time the phone rang, every time, I was always running into something that he did again, and he'd come back to me, help me do this, help me fix this, or whatever. And it gets kind of discouraging. Well, there's not much you can do. You can give all the advice you want, but they're not going to take it until they're ready to take it. It's everything I'd say, he'd go just the opposite. For a good many years, it's like, I don't know. It's just, you're in it and you got to deal with it. That's all. I don't know.
Must have been frustrating, right?
Very frustrating. Very. You just want to throw your hands up and change your phone number and not even be there. But if I didn't love him, who would? It was hard with the family because they kept saying, Mom, why do you keep, subjecting yourself to that? Just ignore him. Don't answer the phone. Don't go whenever he needs you. But I just couldn't. So.
He's your boy.
He's my boy. He has a brother that's 4 years younger than him, and just did not understand why I would even, so that meant putting the family through turmoil and him through turmoil, because he would see me tore up, just, it was rough with the other one didn't want to. Every time Wes would get out, they would accept him, try one more time, and he would blow it. And so I got to the point to where I was like, okay, Karen, you can accept him, but I can't push it on the family anymore, so I wouldn't. I would just, so that I'm always stuck in the middle of everything, Well, I wanted him to accept him, but I told him one time, I won't ask you to do that anymore. I love him and I always will, but Grandma too. Grandma always stuck in there with us. But you get where you're feeling he's out of jail now. Oh gosh. It's like I was more better when he was in there. Then I knew where he was, and I knew I wasn't going to be getting a phone call that he was dead or had killed someone or whatever, it was nicer when he was in. It's pretty bad, huh? I think prison saved his life many, many times. I really do. Got him off the street whenever it was getting so bad at times. Got him off the street and put him in where that's terrible.
You picked up Wesley from his last prison term, and you dropped him off at the Arukah house. How was your relationship with him at that point in time?
I was always there for him. I mean, he knew that, but it was like my own, like, here we go again, we'll see how long he lasts here, without getting into trouble or whatever. So yeah, I hadn't met you or anything. I didn't know anything about the place, and so I was very, very surprised.
What did you feel when you dropped him off?
Just see what you can do with him, because it wasn't, it didn't matter what I said. I could talk till I was blue in the face, and, he would always venture off, so.
When a person is released from prison, they're given $200. With that $200, they need to find shelter, they need to find food, they need to transportation, they need to get to their parole within 24 hours for $200. How long does $200 last you in the Bay Area? You spent $630 just to come here tonight for a table. $200 doesn't get a lot for you, and without any support, and there's a little bit of support out there, but without that support, there's a reason why people go back to prison over and over and over. Some of the reasons is lack of employment opportunities. Jobs are tight right now. Our guys are struggling to find jobs right now, even with all my connections. You got a place of work that would be open to hiring one of our guys? Let me know, because we need jobs for these guys. Let me know what you need, and I'll find the right guy for you. Lack of basic necessity, social factors. The arms are not wide open to guys coming out of prison. And if they do find transitional homes, they're living in depressed areas with high crime rates, drug use. The rooms sometimes are packed 6 to 10 guys in a room in bunk beds, wall to wall to wall to wall. They're met with craziness of mental health and drug addiction and drugs going in and out of the house. I hear horror stories of it. And we wanted to do something different. And it's a system intended to set them up for failure. And that's why Kelly and I started Arukah. Some people ask me, where does Arukah come from? Like it's a kind of a weird name. And well, Arukah is Hebrew, and it means to heal, to restore. And it actually is found in Isaiah 58, 6 through 12. And that's where I got it from, because I was sitting on my couch just going, God, what am I going to call this nonprofit? Because you got to have a name, right? And so I started looking at what is healing and restoring, and I found out that in the Hebrew is Arukah. And then it had a bunch of verses where it was found in the Bible, and I went to Isaiah 58, 6 through 12. Let me read this for you. And before 6 comes, Isaiah is telling the land of Israel, your fasting is horrible in God's sight. It's a waste of time. And they were very religious, doing very good things, but their hearts were far from God. It says this, is not this the kind of fasting I have chosen, to loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and to break every yoke? Is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? And when you see the naked, to clothe them and not turn away from them, from your own flesh and blood? Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing, or Arukah, will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. And then when you call, the Lord will answer you. When you cry for help, he will say, here I am. If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing of finger and malice talk, and if you spend yourselves on behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness, and your healing, or Arukah, will spring up quickly. The Lord will guide your ways. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose water never fails. Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins and will raise up age-old foundations. You will be called repairer of broken walls, restorer of streets with dwellings. How about that nickname for you? Is that what you want to be known for? That's what I want to be known for. Repairer of broken walls, restorer of streets with dwellings. And we're seeing that with the men at Arukah. These verses still apply today, thousands of years later. And I knew immediately when I read them that this is what Arukah would be all about, giving men like Ron and Michael and Johnny and Robert and Ryan and many of the other men that have come through our doors this kind of hope, this kind of restoration. Dwight, giving him opportunities like he never had before to move forward in life. And oh yeah, you remember Wesley, who I was talking about and Karen was talking about? Let's see where Wesley is now. Listen to Karen.
But coming in with you guys, right away I could see, that he kind of took over the house, I think, there for a while, didn't he? He just kind of moved in and, cleaned everything up that he thought wasn't clean, and he just kind of took over. And I seen that he found a place that he made a difference. Around our place, it was always like, oh, here comes Wes again. You don't want to pay attention to nothing he says, or he'll be off running in here pretty soon. And so it's kind of like, but there I could see that he felt people weren't looking at him from the past. A fresh start, they didn't know nothing he'd ever done or anything like that. And so he was accepted, and he felt like they didn't look at him like, oh, here we go again. And I think that made a big, big difference. He felt like he could do something to help someone else, that he wasn't like, oh gosh, here he comes again, So I think I could see that right away whenever he first got here. He got a bicycle, a little BMX bike. And I would call him, or he'd call me and say he was at some fishing pond. On your bike? Well, yeah, how else am I going to get here? And I thought, well, it keeps him busy. And, he loves fishing. That's about all he does besides work and his baby girl, is fish. So I thought, well, okay, and he's got enough gumption to get on that bicycle and ride to the fishing spot. That was good, And then just the people that you connected him with. He was putting flyers out for someone running for mayor of Livermore. He'd go put the flyers out and then he'd go get them all off, whenever after the man won. But I was really flabbergasted that he was sticking with that, and he was happy with that. And then when the job came along, he got a job at Home Depot first, right up here. We just went by it. And I was flabbergasted that he was sticking with any of it, Because before it was like, why would I go to work, have a job that pays minimum wage versus doing what I was doing and had money all the time? And I was, but then people got him in with now he works for Arukah Construction, doing elevators, and he just loves it. And just the other day, we were somewhere, and there was an elevator there or something. Somebody was talking, and I listened to Weston, and I thought, he knows all that? How did, he said, well, they taught me when they gave me the job. And I'm like, see, the things he could have been, it's just, it's amazing. Amazing how some little bit of confidence can do to a person. So instead of coming back to the same old place and seeing us having doubts, you guys didn't doubt him at all. And he thrives because of it. He's had a daughter. She's 4 now. And he's Mr. Mom. That's what his life is her. And he goes to work and the church, big member of the church there and where he lives. And I'm just amazed. Every day I'm amazed at what he, when I'm around him every Sunday, I go to church with him over there, and the way everyone treats him and respects him and looks up to him at times, I'm just amazed. It just proud every day. It's crazy. He just does stuff every day. I'm thinking, you went there by yourself? It's like, yeah. I'm like, he's just got so much confidence, and he might not inside feel that way, but it shows that he does. Everything he does and the things that he goes and does, and the people entrust him with their homes, and it's just amazing to me. Stars the limits with you guys. You guys introduce them to wonderful people that, and like Wesley's life, he doesn't travel or anything because he has his little girl, but I'm sure you guys, there's amazing things that you guys would open up for any man that wants it. It's crazy. And to moms out there, you couldn't have been no more doner than I was, but I knew I would never turn my back on him, but as far as ever expecting anything decent, I wasn't until he came here. I kind of felt, I kind of tried to pave the way all the time and everything, but he's been around him so much now that, he's invited to everything. He's, part of everything. And his daughter, Layla, she just fits right in, and just everything that the boys do now, just every time they're together, my heart is just, full, because they're all together. They're all, going about their day, having fun. Whenever my youngest son moved to Nevada, so we go up there, and he just fits right in, and it's great. Everyone out there that has supported the Arukah House and everything, thank you, because I would have never known of anything like this, and like, I think Wesley was given a flyer whenever he was in his last prison term, and directed to you, and whatever you guys are doing, you're doing great, and your donors, love them to death, and all the appreciation in the world.
Amazing. I probably watched that video about 10, 20 times, and I cry every time. Because I'm just like, you just see, this is a mother that loves her son so much, but was at her end. And that now he's home. And he's doing life with a family and living an amazing life. Wesley was here, but he had to leave. He was not feeling very good. I would have grabbed him up on this stage. Because what she didn't tell you is that now, after being in and out of prison so much through his church, he's gone back into the prisons, and he's leading Bible studies, and he's mentoring men, and he's pouring into them. It is phenomenal what this man is doing. And Rich, where are you at? You're at Dave Moody's table. Where's Rich? Richard. Hey, thanks for giving him a job. You changed his life. And I'm thankful for you giving him that opportunity. And I know that could be a liability, right? You don't know this guy. But you gave him an opportunity to have something in his life, and he loves that job, and he loves your organization, Arukah. If you need an elevator, I'll do a plug for him. In your home, that's the company you want to go with. And that's it. And that's my hope. That is, throughout the night, you have experienced what Arukah does, and does really, really well. We have an 85% success rate of men doing well after they leave our homes. And that is compared to 68% that will go back after they get out of prison. They will go back into prison. We have an 85% success rate. And we are continually to grow and modify the program so that it's even better, right? So this year we added sailing, recreation, and doing life and having fun. We've been adding mental health stuff so that the guys get helped with their mental health. So when you give to Arukah, you are investing in not only the guy, right? You're not just only changing his life, you are changing family lives. That's the reality of what you do when you invest and you give to Arukah. So I am asking you that you will generously and give and go above and beyond what you were thinking you were going to do when you walk through these doors. Because that's the kind of life that we see through many, many of our men that come in. That's just one story. And we're going to give a few minutes for you to do that. To think, to pray, to make a decision, talk with your spouse or your partner if you have one, and make a decision of how we would want to invest in the life of a man. On your table, there are envelopes. You can put in your cash. You can fill out the credit card thing there. You can go on your phone. But with the envelope, if you do decide to do that, we're going to have Andy. I don't know where Andy is. Okay, he's in the back. He will wave his hand there. And if you could please have one person give that envelope to Andy, whether it's filled out or not, give all the envelopes to him, because we've had in the past, everything gets cleaned up real quick and they got thrown away. So we don't want that to happen. So even if it's nothing in there, just give it to Andy. You can give online through your QR code. You can go right there. You can give through a DAF. If you have a DAF and you want to give through that and save on your taxes, it's a beautiful way of giving. You can give stock. So you got your Netflix stock and it's been sitting there for a while and you don't want to pay any capital gains on that, give your stock. We can receive that. Not only are we asking you to give tonight, we're also right now, but I would want you to consider to give monthly, because monthly giving allows us to budget for the future. So give now, give monthly, and it also gives you a chance to be praying for our organization and praying for our men. If you're not on our newsletter getting updates, please get on our newsletter, because we send them out about once a month or about once a quarter to update you on the things that are happening with Arukah, so you can be praying for us and being informed. But we're going to give you a little bit of time. My friend Daryl, though, right here. Daryl, raise your hand. You don't have to raise your hand. But he just came up to me before I got on, and he goes, hey, I'll give $5,000 if you can match it. Would anybody else here be able to do that right now? One person? $5,000? Or maybe 5 people give 1,000? Raise your hand if you would be able to do that. One. We got one. Is that $5,000 or 1,000? $5,000? You'll match it? Thank you. Give him a hand. That's fantastic. Thank you for your generosity. All right, we're going to play some music. We're going to give a few minutes, and then we'll wrap up, because I know we're a little bit over on time. Thank you for being patient.